protect our first responders, to include members of our law enforcement community. Please watch over and safeguard all the members of our armed forces at home and overseas. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Councilman. Pledge to the flag of our country. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The great state of Texas.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Hank, I didn't ask you if we were rolling. I guess we were, right?
We're good, sir.
All right, thank you, sir. All right, please take roll call, sir.
Mayor Chris Farr.
Here.
Councilmember Mitchell Davis.
Here.
Councilmember David Blaine.
Present.
Councilmember Jerry Reasoner.
Here.
Councilmember Ricky Warwick.
Here.
Councilmember Larry Sanders.
Here.
City Attorney Scott Francis.
Here.
City Engineer Greg Phipps.
Here.
Chief of Police Chief Carlisle. Captain Jeff Campbell. City Secretary Marie Campbell.
Here.
City Administrator Scott Pittsburgh.
I even changed seats.
You did. Now you're correct. All right. Once again, welcome everyone. I know it's been very, very hot. We dodged a tropical storm / hurricane. God was with us on that one, and so I'm glad that went on past us. So maybe we'll have good luck the rest of the year. Moving into public comments, I have one public comment. Sorry, Norma?
You need a second.
Yes, Norma, come on up. I'm sorry.
Mario.
Come on up to the podium, Mario. I understand it now. Thank you. Come on up.
Good evening, everybody. Got a couple concerns that I want to bring up. First one is about, I want to be clear, even though with the annex from the Pod 3, there's been a lot of issues with the water and the managing of stormwaters, wastewaters in the area. Every time it rains, water backs up on the property and remains there for days. Also, my neighbors around are having the same issues. I don't know if these complaints have been received by you guys. Pod 3 has installed like 3 sets of systems around our land, leaving us with concern about combination of standing rainwater plus the potential of septic contamination. We understand that you're using a combination of aerobic and also the drain type into the ground. We have been told by Joshua that the issues related to on the street and that it will be taking some time to resolve. And I understand infrastructure projects take time, I guess, but my question is, how much time? How long? Do we have a timeline, when the process of trying to get some of these issues with drainage fixed? And like I said, the problem is no longer just an inconvenience, it's affecting the property value, the ability for the residents to sell their lands, that including us. Recently, having issues trying to sell my land because, they have to come when the rain, and of course they sold the standing water, and they kind of discouraged them from buying the land from us. Again, as a property owner and taxpayer, I believe we deserve answers as what the city's plan to address the drainage problem affecting our area. What is the timeline for improvement related to Columbus Street? Has the city evaluated the impact of the installation of these systems in the area, especially related to standing water? And who would be responsible if the conditions created by environmental or public health concerns in the future by these septic systems that they're putting in? Especially the concern that these systems being put in on half-acre lands, not with normally regular. It's supposed to be a acre and a half, I believe. We're not asking for a promise tonight. We're just asking for accountability, transparency, and what the city is doing to help us with these issues. And like I said, not just me. I've got my neighbors around my land that also been reaching out to us about these concerns. Also, I want to bring up some questions about, I know there's an agreement being done by the city of Roman Quarters. I know the mayor is related to this. Like I said, I understand the city council has approved this agreement. I have provided some copies for you guys to go in details because it's a lot, so I can go. But I want to highlight some of the areas concerned. There's 4 of them. One is a proposed park dedication. My concern about it is, you got a 1.2 acre land that doesn't seem to have, that they're going to make a park. That's the proposed. But based on the plans that I'm looking at and the Montgomery County information, it looks like a piece of land that don't have access for people to get into the land because it's basically surrounded, or will be surrounded future building of houses. So that's kind of one of the questions that we have. And there's not specific, or there's limited details about the scope of the project on this plan. And like I said, there's some questions already provided that. On my point number 2, the materials inaccuracy and the agreement. Mainly, my understanding is the septic system can be approved on half-acre lands, but we noticed that, and you'll see some of the lots in there, that they're really, when we look at the numbers, based on the information from Montgomery County, these lots are a lot smaller than half an acre. And I provided some numbers, but you have some that are 0.35 acres, other ones are 0.29. There's some private homes that are 0.35, 0.39. So even that the report that I believe they have provided says that every lot is half acre, it's not true. So there's some inconsistency there that I believe the city needs to look at for that. Number 3 is inadequate supporting documentation. Exhibit B, when we're looking for information on Exhibit B, the information is like very hard to read. It's not legible. And so it doesn't provide like dimensions, frontage in each lot, the total square footage or acres of the lot. And I believe this is something that needs to be addressed and be able to provide us, the public, the information that they can be readable and understand. And number 4 is concerns regarding approximately 135 individual septic system. And this part goes to, a typical 5-person household provides, or produce about 350 to 500 gallons of water per day. Applying this to 135 homes, the results come to 47,000 to 67,000 gallons of water would be, wastewater. Again, that would be discharged into the ground each day. Again, some of them are septic systems. We understand some of them are the regular drainage type. We believe this would be a concern, especially with all the issues we have with the drainage and the water here in the growing forest.
Mario?
Yes, sir.
Your 3 minutes are up. I appreciate you coming up speaking.
Good timing, I just finished.
No, that's fine. I just, before you move on to the next one.
Yes.
Yes, some of those things I think you will hear some discussion on.
Okay,
tonight.
perfect.
Maybe some of your questions will be answered. But yes, I appreciate you, I appreciate all of that, yeah.
And hopefully the details will be on the copy provided there.
Sure, yeah, no, absolutely.
Thank you.
Do we have any more public speaking stuff?
No, sir.
That was it?
Okay.
All right, moving on, council, let's go to item 6. This is our consent agenda items. Discuss and approve all items listed under this current agenda, under this current line item. First one is consider and approve the minutes of the city council meetings. One is dated June 22nd, 2026. This was a regular city council meeting. Give you all the time to look at it. The next minutes would be July 16, 2026. This was a special city council meeting on zoning. Thank you, Councilman Davis, for running that one. Any questions, amendments, or anything on either one of those minutes from either one of those meetings?
Just a comment on the zoning, to make sure Councilman Reasoner is aware. In that zoning meeting, we discussed the 4 lots adjacent to the Appian Deli on the right, if you're looking at the front, and we, based on what was on Montgomery County Appraisal District, we said that the R meant they were residential. They are not, they are unrestricted. So that may be something we need to discuss when we get to that zoning section in tonight's meeting. But they're not specifically called out that way on the meeting minutes, but it is something we aired in the meeting, classifying them incorrectly.
So when we get to that point, I did a study of 18 properties.
Yes, sir, I've seen
About that too.
Any other questions, comments on the 2 meeting minutes? Moving on. Maintenance report for review. We also have the court report and permit reports for review. Just one page tonight, Greg?
One page.
One page. Any questions or comments on maintenance, court, or permit? All right, moving on to the financial report.
Financial report for June, with Wells Fargo and Tex pulled together. General fund was $1,041,897.48. Reserve fund, $404,576. Asset forfeiture, $23,902. FEMA, $287,000. Speak up? Okay. FEMA, $287,378.81. COVID, $264.87. The debt, 2016 certificate, $40,178.85. And the debt service certificate is $234,465. with a total of $2,115,664.
Thank you. Thank you. If there's any questions, we'll bring you back up. That's where we're jumping the gun here. City administrator report. You may come to the podium now.
Yes, sir. For the first time in my 18 months here, I'm on 2 pages tonight, so lots of great things in Roman for us. First of all, 4th of July parade. What a great success that was. Congratulations and thank you to Linda Stewart for all that she did, and Jerry Reasoner for all that he did. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes getting that ready, and those were the 2 people that really kept the meetings going, kept organizing and going. A lot of other people, but those were the 2 main people that had it going. We had a great turnout this year with fire trucks, police cars, antique cars, Shriners, Boy Scouts, residents walking, riding carts, bicycles, and we just thank you for all that you did. And then we had the celebration at the park afterwards with food, fun, fellowship, and that had a good turnout also. So both of you again, thanks for all you did. It was a great job, and we look forward to next year's parade. Tonight, the city council will call for the 2026 city council elections. Positions 1, 3, and 5 are the open positions for the upcoming elections. If you're interested, Roman Forest residents, you can pick up a packet during normal business hours from Marie, and then those can be turned in back to Marie by 5 o'clock on August the 17th is the last day that you can turn one in. Once again, that's August 17th at 5 o'clock. Information on the election can be found on our city website at rftx.org. Go to the city council tab and then go under elections 2026 to get more information, or give us a call and we'll help guide you to what you're looking for. Columns at the front of Roman Forest came down a few weeks ago. We all need to remember that they did serve a great purpose for our city for a lot of years. They may be gone, but they will not ever be forgotten. So Commissioner Gray gets the thanks for taking those down. City Council did approve that, our part of it, about 3 months ago. But Commissioner Gray took care of it. I know it's not what everybody in our city wanted, but down the line there's going to be something that is going to look really nice for our city. So just stay tuned on that. With school starting on August the 6th, next Thursday in New Caney, our swimming pool will go to a weekend only hour starting on August the 8th. Then it'll be Saturdays from noon to 7 and Sundays from 1 to 7. And that'll continue through the Labor Day weekend. Once the Labor Day weekend's here, the pool will close, but the splash pad will remain open until the weather changes, or we've got to do some maintenance to some masking that's got to be redone sometime between now and when we open next year. City of Roman Forest, in partnership with the Rotary Club of East Montgomery County and Scout Troop, a young scout from Troop 213 that was earning his Eagle Scout, has installed a little free library in our park. 1013, I'm sorry. I had that wrong on the deal too. Montgomery County was working, the Rotary Club and I were working together to put that together, and then the Eagle Scout came in, wanted to do a project, and I kind of guided him towards the Rotary Club, and then they called back and said that they wanted to do it, and so we picked a spot. It's open up at the park, right where you go down the main sidewalk going towards the splash pad. So we welcome youth residents to come take a book, put it back when you're done reading, or if you've got other ones, you're welcome to switch one out when you take one. But we will keep them also going with the Rotary Club. We'll keep books continuously being in the I just keep calling it a birdhouse, but it's a book house. So, reminder to all residents, if you haven't seen the sign up front, it's your responsibility to keep your ditches mowed and clean of debris. As the mayor said a while ago, we dodged that last storm coming in, but it doesn't take much to get in there to slow things down and make water back up. So please take care of your ditches in front of your house. The Apollo Energy Project is almost complete. And I use the words almost lightly. Phase 1 on the boulevard, installing the conduit is done, but as you see now, they're coming back and installing the boxes, creating even bigger holes in some people's yards. But the project is on the downside right now. The city appreciates all the residents that live on the boulevard that are affected by the project, by the patience that you've shown. When we get through and they grade it back over and you're not happy with something, then give me a call and I'll work with them to get it back over there, and we'll get it back the way you want it in your property, okay? Beginning on Tuesday, August the 11th, the city will have new hours for court. Our new court clerk will be available starting on that day on Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays from 8:30 to 2:30 to take care of all your court issues. Will not be open on Mondays. It'll just be a Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 8:30 to 2:30. Christmas is only 151 days away. And after speaking with the Dogwood Elementary administration who called us and the choir director, they wanted to go ahead and get on the books for the Christmas tree lighting. So we went ahead and put that on there from the year before on that same Thursday night, which would be December 3rd at 5 o'clock. Yard decorating, judging, go ahead and put that on your calendars too. Sunday, December 13th at 6 o'clock. But we had to go ahead and get on the calendar so that Dogwood Elementary had it on theirs because of how their calendar, they just wanted to know when it was. So we kept it on that Thursday at 5. However, we reserve the right to change that time if this daylight savings time really is a true thing. It's still going to be light. We might bump it back just a little bit so it's dark for the trees to light up. So anyway, to end on a positive note tonight, not that the 151 days to Christmas isn't positive. If you haven't been on Facebook lately and gone and read Miss Robin Miller's post, then you need to go read it. She made a great list of everything that this city has to offer in a positive manner. It makes us so proud of our city, all the things that you put. I must have read it 2 or 3 times. I even took a picture of it. I was going to tell you that I thought you missed one with we do the dog thing up front too. And I was like, I'm going to tell her that. But I'm going to tell you, if you haven't read it, go on there and look at it. And wouldn't it be nice if you went on there and read it and actually put a positive comment and tell her what a great job of that list it was, or add something if you know something you didn't see. But, you know, those are things that go on behind the scenes that Miss Miller does for us, keeps things positive for us. But I want to tell you something, Mr. DeVilla, you asked a minute ago about a question about your ditch. I mean, I don't know if I'm supposed to answer or not, but there are great things that are going to happen in our city over the next few months. That street on Scribe is on a list to be taken care of. It's just not happening as quick as your neighbors that you were speaking of have come to me and talked about. But it is it will be taken care of. It's going to be in a timely manner. But there are great things happening in our city. Great things are going to continue to happen, so stay tuned and keep your eyes open and you'll see what I'm talking about in our city. Any questions?
Thank you, sir. No, sir. Thank you, Scott.
Thank you very much.
Like to do
Man.
Thank you, Ms. Miller.
All right, Linda, let's do some events committee.
All right. So just like our administrator, I too want to personally thank Gary Wiesner, the Ham Radio, the Boy Scouts, the VFW Post, American Legion, that our 4th of July was truly a 250th anniversary celebration, and the flags that the city put out, and everybody took flags so we didn't have to collect them at the end, so it worked out really well despite the heat. So yes, thank you for a great event. Water aerobics. So water aerobics, the ladies and gentlemen, this is not just a women's group. We do have men that are participating in water aerobics. Next week, Monday, Wednesday, will be the last 2 regular sessions. I want to appreciate Josh and the lifeguards that are Saturdays. On Saturdays from 10:30 to 11:30, we will have 6 Saturdays, August 1st, 8th, 15th, 22nd, 29th, and September 5th. Those Saturdays from 10:30 to 11:30, we will still have water aerobics workout. That's welcome to anybody new, spouses, gentlemen. We invite you to join us. And for those 6 Saturdays, the cost for those 6 will be $6. And you can bring that money that first Saturday, August 1st, or whatever Saturday you join us. Our coffee and donuts and coffee with the cops and our donuts and Bloodmobile had an excellent turnout. This past Saturday, the Garden Club had their first plant sale and exchange. It was a very successful event. We're all sending prayers of strength and healing to Roy Adami, who should be going through his last session of chemo, so we're praying for his health and strength. The cleanup along Appian Way was postponed because it was so wet, so watch the Facebook pages and Scott's Thursday newsletters for when we reschedule the cleaning of Appian Way. Within the next 2 days, our military honor banners website should be up and running. There will be a link on our various Facebook pages, and the link I will give to Scott to be in his Thursday newsletters. The banners will be 150 each. Families or individuals can look for their own sponsors to do that. There are some veterans, past and serving, and that we'd like to honor the city itself. So if you would like to just make a general donation, the information to do that will be on our webpage for the military honor banners. I'm looking to hold a events committee planning meeting, but like what happened this month, I'm going to wait till the end of this meeting so I know for sure all the budget and tax rate meetings are scheduled, so then I can schedule an events committee, planning committee. Sometime before the end of August, we're going to have a bunco night. September, that first weekend is in September, the 4th through the 6th is our community garage sale event. October will be our national night out with the police department. That should be the first Tuesday is October 6th. We'll be at the pavilion. And Saturday, October 31st, will be our trunk or treat across the street in the parking lot at Grace Village Church. At our Coffee and Donuts, Taylor's organization wanted to working with them to plan a coffee cruise in at the pavilion. We're looking sometime November when it's cooler, and part of that will also be a collection for canned goods that will help the local food banks that are preparing Thanksgiving baskets for needy families. November 21st is the next Bloodmobile and Coffee and Donuts here. And then, of course, December first weekend is the next garage sale month, and like Scott said, that's our tree lighting and house decorating. But once I announce and post, look for the post on the events committee, planning committee. There's a whole list of suggestions that were made, and then we'll schedule those events in the coming months.
Thank you, ma'am. Chief, you're up, sir.
I probably won't be as excited as Scott Castleberry was. Nobody, he was all upbeat. All right, earlier we were, I'm talking about June, so things have changed a little bit since it's already in July, but we were notified of an upcoming Criminal Justice Information Systems, CJIS, audit scheduled for July, following significant recent changes in federal CJIS funding policy in preparation. We are conducting a comprehensive self-audit and implementing updates to ensure full compliance with the new requirements ahead of the audit and the site visit. The primary focus in areas is building security, access control, safeguards related to computers and network server. We have identified several automated controls now required under the updated CJIS standards and are actively working to identify affordable solutions to meet those mandates. Since then, we have had our site visit, and we've got a small list of things that we need to still figure out and stuff. So we're still in the audit process. I'll update y'all how things progress next month. The layout for the building expansion project has been finalized, with construction expected to begin toward the end of July. We were ahead of the people that they're working on now, but I made a little mistake in finalizing something on their terms, and based on assumption, I delayed the project, so they got somebody ahead of us, so it delayed it about 3 weeks or so. But that's been worked out and everything is back on track. The remaining components are pending finalization of the electrical and plumbing plans. The permitting process is underway, so I'll talk a little bit more about that on the agenda item. Fuel cost has risen substantially since the development of our current budget, resulting in the fuel line item exceeding its allocation. On June 23rd, 2026, A very kind and generous Roman Forest citizen made a donation to the Roman Forest Police Department, specifically to support fuel for patrol vehicles. This contribution will make a meaningful difference, and we are sincerely grateful for the support. I think there's an agenda line item about that later too.
Those are okay. Does the citizen wish to have their name?
The citizen does not wish to be known.
Okay.
On June 28, 2026, the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office tragically lost a deputy in the line of duty while working a DWI investigation on the interstate. Our thoughts and prayers are with the family and friends of Deputy Erica Serrato, as well as her brothers and sisters at the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office. Deputy Serrato was local to East Montgomery County and had many friends here in the Roman Forest Police Department. A Porter High School graduate, she began her public safety career as a firefighter with the East Montgomery County Fire. Before proudly serving the citizens of the Montgomery County as a deputy sheriff. Chief Carlisle and some of our PD officers attended her service on July 7th to honor her life and service. Is there any questions about stats or anything?
No, sir.
No? All right. I'll see you on the line item to talk more about.
Thank you, Chief. Okay, let's go back over everything under 6. Any questions on any consent agenda items, concerns, or comments? We're good. I would just need a motion and a second to accept all items listed under consent agenda number 6.
Mayor, I make a motion that we accept the consent agenda items.
Motion on the floor, Councilman Mullane, to accept all consent agenda items, item 6 as presented. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Councilman Reasoner beat you to it. All in favor of approval? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, unanimous. Moving on to item 7, discuss and consider the status of the following projects. Take any action required. Mr. Phipps, you're up, sir.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Drainage improvements, we are working with city officials, Thornberry Development and HUD 3 to discuss some drainage improvements in the back portion of the city in section 4. We'll let you know more about the outcome of that drainage meeting once we get everything set and have that meeting. Road improvements, I have nothing to report on it. Development improvements, Roman 4, Section 4, Phase 2A. We reported last month that project was bid and awarded. We have the contracts. I say they're signed, but a signature was missed, so that'll be signed tonight. We had the pre-construction meeting earlier this afternoon, and they will start work this week, move in equipment, so we will see work started back there. I have nothing to report right now on Hubbard Park. Early and some discussions about what we want to do there. Right now, I don't have anything to report to the council.
Any questions for Mr. Phipps before we move on?
Number 7, no, sir.
Any questions on number 7 down here? No, we're good. Any questions on number 7, Councilman Mullane?
No, sir.
All right, moving on to item 8, consider items related to police station building expansion, taking any action required. Mr. Phipps?
I will touch on my portion, working with Entergy on power lines back here that Chief mentioned earlier. The ground transformer is 100 kVA, which is adequate. We've got a 200 amp meter with a 250 amp service that serves the maintenance building. Our electrical engineer sent me an email this afternoon. We will have to put in another disconnect and service over to it, and he's sending me the sketch. I'll get that to the chief so he can get his pricing and get the electrical behind us on that. And with that, I will pass it on to the chief unless you have questions for me.
No, let's turn it over to the chief first, and I'm sure there will be some questions.
Okay.
All right, so I've been asked to kind of give an updated budget. There's no updated budget because I'm still waiting on that, what he just talked about, which that's going to be to me tomorrow. I should be able to quickly have all the electrician bids, which is holding up for decisions, because depending on how much that is, that's the most important thing of the building, of how much remaining budget I got left. So nothing's changed until I get the electrical bids. So that'll steer the decisions on what to do and stuff.
And you're gonna get these answers when?
I'll have I think he said tomorrow, I should have one line that I need.
Yes.
I'll give that to the electricians. I'm sure they got a couple days that they need to review it to give me the price. And once they get that, then that'll tell me what money I have left to do on this and this.
Do you foresee any decisions that are going to have to be made on this before the next regular meeting?
There's no more decisions that need to be made because I'm not gonna go over budget. I'm gonna cut.
Everybody good?
I'm gonna cut what we need to do.
I heard it.
I like a lot of witnesses.
We're on the same page here.
That was, I'm sorry, Chief, I should have said that. Go ahead. Go ahead, Councilman Reesner. Yes, sir.
One of my questions is when you get into putting in new buildings with next to buildings that are a little older, have older grounding systems, can get a difference of potential in the ground plane between the two buildings. And that'll burn equipment up and do nasty things to your electrical system. So I would hope that your electricians look at that very closely. Sometimes they'll bond these grounds together, upgrade possibly the old ground, but that's something that they need to look at very closely, because that'll mess with your radios and your computers.
Okay, I'll definitely mention that.
Okay.
So, as soon as I get that one line, then I'll make sure I mention that when I'm giving that over to the electricians so that they can make it. Okay. I know in the server room, we're adding a new ground because of the server equipment and stuff like that. So, yeah. This is the floor plan that we have both agreed on, Satellite and us. The major difference is there's no longer a 3-foot gap between the two buildings. It's all going to be together, because it starts, the pitch of the roof starts in the very center of the total project and goes one way or the other. What was believed before, it was going to be the pitch over here in the middle and the pitch over here in the middle, and we'd have to have a maintenance area in the middle. But we don't have to have that no more, because the buildings that we went with are starting at a high point and going down. So they're bolted together and everything's fine. So I eliminated that, and I think that's and we shifted it over this way a little bit, which reduced the cost of the facade. So that helped. Everything trying to make it fit within the budget.
Okay. Any questions for
Other
Chief?
questions?
Chief or Mr. Phipps on this project?
No, sir, that's
Good?
Do you have a question?
Sure, go ahead. Councilman Phipps.
What is the state of it in construction right now? Have they started preparing it? This is a renovated building, so they're gonna gut it and then bring it back up from bare studs and
Yes.
full decking. So at what point are we doing an inspections, and when does it actually begin that process?
Like I said, I've already been out there and I've already seen every single building that we're doing, and the way it sits now. And then as soon as they are finished, which should be this week, if they hadn't already started it, I've only had one email conversation with them this week, or last week. So they may have already started on it, but the starting on it is gutting it. So they haven't done any build up.
Do we have-
I'm gonna make a site visit when they start building it.
So we've given them our layout, but do we have theirs? So they've done engineered drawings that you have, or you're going to review, that has all the lighting layout, the data points, The electrical plugs and all of that's been reviewed, so we don't get into change orders because it's not what we expect once it gets on site.
So what I have is the floor plan that they gave me, and I red pinned it, sent it back to them along with this.
Could I get a copy of what they sent, where your red lines, so that I know what they're presenting as far as type of light fixtures, battery backup, bug eyes, what we gave them for access control points for doors?
I can give you what I have. What I have is the general plans that they do for every one of them. And it has all those specifics, but based on what I want, we made the change. I can give you what I got.
I understand, but I guess my concern, Chief, again, is what I don't want is get it on site and find out that we need to hire an electrician to go modify what we could have had them done when it was down to bare studs. So if we're gonna put wall packs on the outside for lights, let's get them to put the conduit in now so that we don't have to go back and screw with it later. Right, again, like we talked about for access control for doors, if you're gonna put keypads or you're gonna put badge readers, let's get that done now so that when their studs are gone, right, when there's no drywall on it, is the time to run all that in the walls.
Yeah,
Tearing it all apart afterwards makes no sense.
Yeah, I did make it clear about the security doors, and they said they're willing to install what we need them to install. We haven't chosen which one we're gonna go with yet, because I need to figure out how much money we have.
Understand,
I'm waiting on the
if
electrician.
we're gonna put, it's very inexpensive to put a conduit in the wall now, right, just from the drop ceiling down to the strike plate. It's very expensive to do it later after we have to tear out drywall to do that. And same thing with the data for the cabling and where we're gonna put the server and all of your data drops, that all needs to be on the plans now that we can, either they're going to do it, or let's get somebody in their shop and we do it while there's nothing on the walls.
Right.
Before we have to pay to take drywall off and then patch it back.
We need to see this building before the drywall goes up.
Yes.
We need to do an inspection on the building, preferably Councilman Davis needs to do an inspection on the building, according to what you requested.
We're Bureau Veritas, they're much more
Somebody
versed in
needs to-
building code than I am. I know what I look for, but they are experts in it.
So once the walls are closed up, we don't know, but let's do a walkthrough before, when the plumbing and electrical's done, let's do a walkthrough before the drywall's done.
Tell you, I'm gonna
That's
be
already agreed.
Okay, good.
extremely upset if we get to a conversation next month and you say, yeah, they're past that. They did great time and they worked overtime and everything's sealed up and we didn't get a chance to look at it. That is not an acceptable answer.
So let's get this guy, I'd like for this guy to go look at it, this councilman to go look at it.
Yeah, I'll make sure that's
If that's
scheduled.
agreeable with you.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
But as far as the data cables and stuff like that, there's only one spot that they need to put some conduit in, we've already identified. And because it's got 2-foot drop ceilings and there's plenty of access for the data guy to drop the wire into where it goes. So we've already had that discussion. There's plenty of room to
We're
work.
not gonna have surface mounted data cabling, are we? It's gonna be in the wall.
It's gonna be in the wall. So I've already had that discussion. There is one point where it's all condensing into one spot, and there needs to be a large conduit going over, and that's already been discussed.
And we have a contractor that's gonna,
Yes, we already have our own IT. And I'm trying to, because I know I'm gonna be a little short on the budget, I'm gonna try to handle some of that with my existing IT budget. So, if I can. But this CGIS audit might have thwarted those plans a little bit.
Give us a heads up on this, a little notice on this inspection walkthrough.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah.
I will. They do know that before the sheet rock goes up, before they cover it, we want to look at the wall.
Good deal. Yeah, no, absolutely. With your plans that you marked up, with their plans that they come up with, and let's make sure everybody knows.
So I do have that. I have what I sent them with my red marks on it. And he's supposed to have that corrected and sent to me. He made some typo type mistakes along with a couple door placement. But he likes my plan program better than his. So he said most likely he's going by my program. But I did ask him to make sure he gets it on his too.
I would very much like a copy of it. I believe Councilman Sanders would like a copy of it. I would think Councilman Warwick at a minimum.
Yeah, no, I
There's
just,
Councilman Warwick's
I've got it.
questions about the bullet resistant glass and walls, right? We need to make sure that's incorporated in there. How are we doing that?
So that was a discussion that we also had before they close up any of that walls. There's also the interview room where we have the two-way glass. And then, so that room and the lobby, between the lobby and the communications office, we're gonna do some bullet resistant stuff. But again, that, I'm waiting on how much money I have to put into that.
And our IT is doing any interior cameras and door cameras?
The cameras are up in the air, I don't know yet. Most likely, I'm gonna do the IT to get a camera on every door. That's one of the new CJIS requirements. We have to have some kind of a motion thing. Camera on every door.
You don't have camera, period. You don't want them, you don't have to have camera, period.
Well, I had to have a way, it's an easy answer to one of the CJIS things that they want.
Just put them down the hallways.
Good for y'all to have a conversation
There
after
may be
this.
two cameras that I was
Just make it easy, just put two in there, just down, just face down the hallways.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about doing. Just one go down the long hallway to catch all the doors. That way have a motion thing because of a CJIS audit requirement, and one on the front door.
We'll get your marked up version to him so that he can
All right.
take a look at it.
All right.
And then give a heads up to everyone. We can have 2 council people go if they want.
So you can do a tour or whatever. I definitely want Greg to go, and Mitch wants to go, whoever wants to go.
Well, I won't mention there because of his experience with this stuff. That's what I need him there.
Maybe Hank to do it too. Yeah, I know where he went. He's hiding.
Lay it down back there.
Any other general discussion on this, not in depth, on item 8?
I have that document printed. I printed up enough for you guys, but I decided to bring this in because it was more detailed, and I guess I should have grabbed that and brought it in with me.
We don't need it right now tonight. We can't compare it to what they're doing.
All right.
Any other questions?
No, I think it was pretty thorough.
Okay. We're gonna move on to item 9. Consider items related to the FEMA Park, parking lot repairs, and city road repairs, 2024 spring flood.
Well, this is with an apology, I was delayed on getting this project out to bid due to some personal issues with my mother. But we are working on it, and I'll get this out in August and have it to you for your consideration in August.
Okay, August meeting. Any questions? Everybody good with that?
I'm good with it.
Totally understand.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Moving on, council, to item number 10, discuss, consider approving resolution 320-26. This is a resolution of the city council of the city of Roman Forest calling for the holding of a general election on November 3rd, 2026. We have positions 1, 3, and 5 will be up for the election.
Mayor, I make a motion that we pass resolution number 320-26.
Motion on the floor, Councilman Mullane to accept, pass resolution 320-26 as presented. Do I have a second?
There's
Second, Councilman Sanders. Any other discussion? All in favor of approval? It is unanimous. Item 11, discuss, consider approving resolution 321-26. This is a resolution to hold a joint election, the same election, with the Montgomery County, Texas. This is the part that saves us some money.
Mayor, I make a motion that we pass resolution number 321-26.
Motion on the floor, Councilman Mullane to accept, pass resolution 321-26 as presented. Do I have a second? Second, Councilman Sanders again. All in favor of approval? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Unanimous. We've already told everyone, Mr. Castleberry, how to pick up a packet. Pick up a copy.
Oh, yes.
You've already told them all of that, so. All right, item 12, discuss, consider, and accept excess collections for 2025 debt services and certification of debt service collection rate for 2026-2027 amount, in the amount of $18,651.
Mayor, may I make a request that the administrator explain what this is to the people that have never seen one of these?
Yes. Scott?
Sorry, Mr. President.
No, you're fine. Request, explain this to people that don't know.
Talking about the debt service,
Yes, sir.
Brady is going to explain that to us. Excess debt collection comes from the nice people in the taxing office at the county. And they said that we over collected by the amount that's on there of $18,000. They take that off of the top when we get ready to do our budget and tax for the county, when we pay our taxes to them.
There are a lot of times that happens when somebody's protesting their taxes. You know, they pay them, and then the protest comes through, they get a refund, so we just reimburse the county back.
Yes. That's, most of the time, that's exactly what it is. Yes. Any questions on this? So we would just need to vote to accept the excess collections amount of $18,651.
Need a motion?
We have to have a motion to accept this.
Make a motion to accept the collection of the 2025 debt service and certification.
All right. Motion on the floor, Councilman Warwick, to accept the excess collections for the 2025 debt services in the amount of $18,651. Do I have a second?
You did?
Second, Councilman Lane. Any other discussion, questions? All in favor of approval? It is unanimous. Number 13, discuss and accept a donation to the City of Roman Forest Police Department to be used for the purchase of fuel for patrol vehicles in the amount of $14,000.
I'll make the motion to accept the donation to the City of Roman Forest Police Department to be used for fuel for patrol vehicles.
All right, motion on the floor, Councilman Warwick, to accept the donation from said resident, correct?
Said generous resident.
Said generous resident, to accept that donation for police department fuel in the amount of $14,000. Do I have a second? Councilman Sanders, second.
Under discussion, I just want to say,
Discussion?
I think 14,000 should be fine.
Okay.
Because that was a conversation I had with the donor.
Sure.
And there's a possibility that the prices go up or down. So I can't tell the future. We got 2 more months left, but we got like 3 more months worth of bills to pay or something.
Mm-hmm.
It should be fine unless those prices skyrocket. California prices or something.
Well, we appreciate this person. I can't believe they would not allow us to at least name them and thank them, but it's okay. So yeah, we'll deal with that when
If
it
it
comes
gets to
around.
California prices go down, we'll have to slow down a little bit of the trouble. It's $6.50 a gallon over in California.
Get a couple of electric bicycles. 6 copies? Yes, so I have a motion on the floor, Councilman Warwick, to accept the donation. A second, Councilman Sanders. Any other discussion?
No, sir.
All in favor of approval? 1, 2, 3, 4. It is unanimous.
And thank you for knowing the bill for us.
Yes.
I think y'all just did.
Yes.
I don't think that's the first time he's donated either.
Moving on to item 14, review and consider approving updated agreements between the City of Roman Forest and Thornberry Development Southern Oaks Water System for Development Phase 2, Section 4. This time, council, we're going to do a 5-minute recess. The time is 6:56, and then we will come back to item 14.
Not float over there.
Yeah, he was squirming, I had to let him go.
On the request side, I'm going to and I have one else. You know, we're going to have to do this.
is 7:02. We are on item 14. Review, consider approving updated agreement between the City of Rolling Fork and Southern Oaks Water Systems. And I don't see Ryan.
He was here. He's right here.
There he is.
Waiting on you, Ryan.
I'm sorry.
Always waiting on
The agreement that's in front of you was the updated version. The blue is what Mr. Francis went through from the notes that we had last time. Those are the changes that are in blue that will become the one that you're voting on tonight. And then if you go to the very last page, you'll see where it was struck through the 3,000 that you took off the list for the assessments. And that was Mr. Anders, Mr. Cantor, Mr. Jett.
Mayor, I had a chance to look this over the weekend, and I don't really have a problem with it.
All right, thank you, Councilman Lane, I appreciate that.
The only thing that changed in the one that you got in front of you tonight is that back page, because we hadn't had the stricken, the one I sent you on Thursday wasn't on there that way. That's why you had the updated one in front of you got here.
Is that the reason it changed from 15 out partial lots to from 18 to 15?
Yes.
That just goes through?
Yes.
150.
So it's open for any discussion, council. Anybody that's got any questions on any of it that's been corrected?
I don't, Mayor, personally.
Go ahead, Brian.
I don't have too many questions or comments, mainly for the reason I just got it. So I would like to go through it a little bit more to see what the wording changed. I understand the biggest or main change is the 3 removals, but I did see some other wording, and I have not had time to look at it or review with my council. So if possible, I'd like to do that, but
We can table it till next month.
that would be perfect with me if we could do that. But I have not had a chance to look at it.
I mean, Ryan, if it's your desire to table it, it will be next regular meeting before this gets any approval. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I was just saying, the council can approve this version, and so long as there's no changes to it that would need to go back to the council, it can be approved from city side, and then that would delay. So long as it would be approved by Thornberry and
With no changes.
then without any changes, or non-substantive changes, then it could be effective once it was signed from your end. And then it wouldn't have to come back to council.
That's fine. Does that, me not signing tonight, affect you getting it out to do?
Right, so it would be approved by them tonight, and then, so that decision from the city side would have already been made, and so it would become effective once it was signed from your end, unless your end came back and said we would request a change that would require us to come back to council.
Will that work for you?
But that would give the opportunity, that doesn't force your end, but that would at least allow it to become effective if it is approved sooner, so.
Okay, and if I have no changes, sign date,
Then it would be-
Scott, and we're doing that.
Yes.
Okay, that's fine.
Is that good with that?
Yes, sir, please.
So I'm back to council. I'll give you a little bit more time for those who didn't get to go over all of it. This is the time to ask any questions, make any other last minute changes. We will be voting to either pass or not pass it. Once we pass it, it will not become effective until the other party signs off on it, as long as there's no changes. I'm sorry, go ahead.
So on page 5, I guess for our attorney, page 5, item D, child safety zones, we've talked about this extensively, that they were going to develop something that met the state requirement of a child safety zone. And unless I missed it, I thought that we said it was going to be a minimum square footage unless that's in the child safety zone designation. But the Davalos comments this morning, or this evening, I apologize, is that the lot designated for this by the developer does not have access from the street. It's through a pipe easement. Is that an issue?
Speak from the podium so people can see who's talking.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Well, so to answer Councilman Davis's first question, yes, that is part of the city ordinance. It is a reference. I don't recall the specific foot distance, but it is specifically mentioned there, which is referenced in the child safety zone. I think I would need more information on
There's a distance from the street, so my at least interpretation of what they provided us was that the park area designation is in between homes and the only access through it is through a reserve that's a pipeline or an electrical easement. And the question is, how does somebody actually get to that?
So we're not going to go through the pipeline, it's really not an access point here. The access would be, we had lots on the north end of it that we're either going to give one up or we're going to replat it to where there's full access from the road.
And is that a requirement in the child safety zone that it is accessible somehow? So I just want to make sure that we're addressing it. It's a very valid comment if the lot is tucked away, like we have reserves like that throughout the city that are not accessible through the street other than through a 5-foot wide grass strip between two lots. And I just want to make sure that what the city is expecting is something that can be used as a park and not something that's hidden from view that creates more of a predator zone by being in the back where nobody can see it than a child safety zone where people can play.
So it will not, so long as it is considered school, daycare facility, playground, public or private youth center, or some facility that regularly holds events primarily for children, doesn't matter whether it's the pipeline is or not, that will still be covered.
But in this particular case, it's behind residential lots and there's no way for somebody driving by to see it, so the police can't patrol it, and you can't. To me, that is not a child safety zone. Yes, it's a reserve, but it's not something we would use as a park and tuck back behind houses where you can't easily get to it or see it from the street. That I don't think anybody's going to feel real safe having their kids play there if it's hidden from view.
Well, again, so long as there is some kind of equipment or something that could be used by children and hold some kind of children's events, it can be considered a child safety zone regardless of whether there's
so we're using it as a designation, not as actually using it for its intended purpose.
Well, again, you can use it for as a child safety zone. Now, whether it would be a popular draw may become another question. If there's not,
I mean, not even popular, but safe is the question.
I mean,
right? If it's really that far back, we're talking about it's 120 feet back from the street down an easement. So I know you're saying you would look at giving up a lot, but that's not in the contract. So my reservation for Thornberry is we were intended to get child safety zone pocket parks in the phase 1. We never got those. So having you say it's our intent doesn't bear a lot with me because we didn't meet those intents in the first phase because we never got those pocket parks.
What do we have to do? We wanted to just say it'll have access from the road?
It used to be visible from the road and access from the road, yes. I mean, it doesn't have to have a parking lot, right? People can park on the street, but it could be a walkable park.
And how's it voted right now? I'm not saying that we
But it needs to be something that's visible.
Well, we're not looking, Ryan, for what meets the definition, we're looking for what best meets our needs.
Right.
What best meets our needs is for the police department to be able to see the park, patrol the park.
Right.
The only way they're gonna do that is access or visibility from the road.
Okay, I'm fine with adding, if y'all want to add something like that, that
We can do
says
that.
access visibility to the river.
Yeah,
I
so-
want it visible to
The
our.
child safety zone with
Councilman Reesner
access.
had a question.
The whole
Hang on, Councilman Reed.
ambulance to it.
Okay.
When we have our events down at the park.
Yeah.
But no parking, otherwise you can't get an ambulance
Right.
into the back. And in the child safety zone, if that child gets hurt and can't be moved, they're gonna have to get an ambulance back in there, whether the police can see them or not. Because we need that. But more so, we need to be able to get emergency medical care to a possible injured kid.
Valid concern.
There, I like that. So, yes, Councilman, go ahead.
When you have these blocks being built, these blocks, everybody out here put fences up. You're not gonna have, after those fences go up, you're not gonna have any accessibility to the area.
Unless one lot is
It'll be
provided.
covered on
as
two
access.
sides, and then the easement will be
Yeah.
on the back side of it, which is very dangerous.
They have to go down a 5-foot area of wood fences, that's dangerous.
Are you prepared to change the language tonight for us to vote on it with an easement of a certain dimension from a lot number?
Sure, I want to hear what y'all come up with.
So other than that, I don't have any other comment. I think the contract that we went through, Ryan, is very sound. I appreciate the concessions that you made as the developer. I think we've made some concessions in obtaining the filings against tax properties for the road assessments. But I would like to see something that solidifies an agreement for the pocket park, the child safety zone. I just don't feel that we ever got that in phase 1, even though it was a commitment made.
Yeah, so if we can come up with some language, you can designate.
Yeah, I want it accessible and visible. Me and Scott looked at it. I'm gonna end up spending 6 figures on this, so for it not to be seen or access or kids playing on it would be, why do it?
mean, we're
So
not
I want it
expecting-
accessible by whatever means, but.
So something spelled out in this contract that shows that access would be great.
Okay, do y'all want?
So what we can do is, if it's approved, it's approved with the addition of, and I can give specific language, and then we can add that in to a version that could be sent to Ryan, the developer, and his legal.
Fine with that.
Yeah. So that would be Article 1, street improvement construction, item D. There would actually be an amendment there.
So item D would be amended to say, developer shall develop a child safety zone with direct public access available. Well, with direct
From what's
access available to both the direct and visible access available to both the public as well as emergency responders.
From Michelangelo?
From Michelangelo.
That's from Michelangelo.
From either street. I don't
So
know
that would be the final language. So we can approve this tonight with waiting for that amendment, right? Approve.
Correct, but with that, we'll need to read that in. Whoever makes the motion needs to read in that language.
Okay.
And I can repeat it again if somebody wants to.
Okay, any other questions or discussions before we? We got a question going on there. Sidebar going. Oh, no, you're fine. So, is there any other discussion before we make this motion? Whoever makes this motion needs to read the language right. Go ahead, Councilman Ward, what did you have? Nothing?
I was just trying to see which one of these lots is he gonna give up to make it visible for the whole thing to be
It'd
visible?
be the one on the longest side of the triangle, right, on Michelangelo?
We're just gonna give up one lot?
That's what I was saying.
The whole back side of the park's gonna be still blocked. Still have to drive down in there, because all these houses are gonna have fences around it.
You're correct. I mean,
And that is correct?
it is tucked back there.
Yeah. However, it is a concession that he's making to give a lot access to it. But that's one we're discussing. What would you like to?
I'd like for the whole, at at least one side of it would be visible, the whole thing, that way they can drive through there and look. Not just one access off the lot. If you clear this lot, you give up this lot right here, all back here is gonna be hidden still.
Right.
It's in there, you know, it's in the one that, Mr. Dunn.
I'm on that one that you handed out. But it's on page, that's okay, I was just trying to show you. It's exhibit B.
Ricky's asking, there's these two lots.
And just this one.
So that you can see the whole thing, right, and extend the size of it. Otherwise, if you gave up one of these lots, you can't see it.
No, but it does grant versus the access to it. I know.
Show me the great picture.
I agree, that's how it happens. But the other question is, just one lot. Yes. For the whole thing. So that's not sellable. So if you give up one lot. Which is much more
Yeah, no, that's
These two talk about
Even though this is right back here, all these people.
But I don't know what the minimum square footage is. It's 10,000 or 15,000.
What is the minimum square footage for town centers?
Well, I did, so our ordinance doesn't have definition. So yeah, there isn't a minimum or maximum square footage.
Oh, and that's where people are gonna park.
There's not a minimum.
So would one of the lots by itself without the reserve constitute the child safety zone?
It can potentially, again, the definition is essentially a school daycare facility. It's a playground or any facility that would regularly hold children. It's a playground can be considered, I'm trying to remember it, but the square footage isn't really the issue. It's just so much as it could be considered a playground, which I think only has to meet the definition of like if there's one kind of some piece of equipment or even like a table, picnic table or
So
something.
Ryan, if you're willing to consider giving up one lot, it's possible just to consider that lot the child safety zone and not the reserve.
You can't drive.
To bring it out
Is
to
what it
street,
sounds like.
street access for the whole.
just give up one lot.
One
and
single
make that
lot.
the park.
Right, and you don't have to give up the park, right?
Does that limit y'all on, I remember Chief at one point said something about square footage.
No?
Well, our attorney's saying it's
Don't
not an issue,
believe,
so.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Would-
I don't know.
Yeah, don't believe there's a minimum square. I mean, there's certainly not a minimum square footage in the city's ordinance, code of ordinances. I don't believe there is a state statutory limitation on it. But I can see if there is a general thing that can limit that, but there isn't one in the ordinance, and I don't believe there's a statutory limitation on it. It is really about, can it be considered a playground? Does it have some kind of equipment or something where children would be kept?
Going off of that, back to your questions, and I guess short answer, yes. And I could probably pick a more central location of that entire area. I know me and Chief had looked at that as far as footage. I think it's 1,000 foot of predator zone. We're limited doing it here. We can't reach all the way to the, call it the northeast side. But I could maybe pick a lot that's more centralized and cover that whole area if that's an option. But I thought early on that was not an option.
Yeah, because of the square footage.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Just a quick, ChatGPT says the state of Texas does not define child safety zone by minimum square footage. Establishes a linear distance buffer measured by feet from the property line to specific location.
Yeah, I believe that's what I was thinking. The square footage is about sorry, not square footage, the footage, any distance that it discusses is about from the property line to
About
1,000 feet. Well, some of them, yes, 1,000 feet, yes.
I recall that, but we left that particular reserve just because of square footage in total.
No such offense. So that catches us.
More central. That way his 1,000-foot barrier covers
This, unless that lot is designated tonight, this unfortunately is gonna run into the next regular meeting for approval. I mean,
We could leave it for a lot to be designated by the developer in the contract, but when it gets signed with street access and accessibility for first responders.
That doesn't give you guys a chance to take a look at which lot it is.
I think table it for,
I mean, and we have to, we can stack on top of one of our, special meetings that we're having. So that's gonna be my advice tonight.
I think we're going to have it right.
Fine, circle this
no
back,
signs requirement.
think about it. Give us a lot that you want to designate. We can't approve this contract without that because we're not gonna be able to meet again until next regular meeting to even look at that. However, get us something to Scott. We can look at it, we can stack it, we got some special meetings coming up
Okay,
with a budget. So we don't have to wait till next month.
okay.
And, council can take a look at which lot you're talking about, they can approve it, and then we can approve the contract.
Okay.
I don't think we're gonna get anywhere tonight.
Right. I was just
Where we're at, yeah.
answering a question.
Yeah, but we're good, we're
You
good
come
on
out
everything
later, I'd
else.
like to go and measure on my end where I can cover
There you go.
most of it.
And if you have any, if you need to back on it, the video is always available online at the city's website.
Okay.
To see what the requests were and put into,
Understood.
and you can, of course, people with the attorney and have to hand that out. But we feel comfortable if we table it and everything's in writing.
Yes, sir.
I think everybody being comfortable.
Yeah, I never like to do a contract in haste and start adding, it's just, I would rather
Get
get
it too many things.
yeah, too many things going on with it. So.
Okay. I'll do that.
Motion to table item 15, motion on the floor, Councilman Lane to table item 14, second. Councilman Reasoner, all in favor of tabling item 14, it's unanimous. Moving on to 15, discuss and consider approving the Montgomery County Emergency Communications District proposed budget.
Mayor, I make a motion that we take no action.
Motion on the floor, Councilman Lane to take no action on item 15. Do I have a second? I do. Second, Councilman Sanders. All in favor of tabling item 15?
No, take no action.
Unanimous.
No action.
I'm sorry, no action? Boy, I said that, didn't I? No action on item 15. Thank you for correcting me on that. Item 16, discuss and consider the implementation of zoning regulations with the city of Rolling Forest, within the city of Rolling Forest, and take any possible action to establish policies, procedures, and enacting, adopting, and enforcing zoning regulations. You were in charge of that last meeting, so.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
So we discussed, in general, where the council or the zoning board would like to see commercial and multifamily limited to within the city for growth. Councilman Reasoner made the point that we need to be careful about limiting all commercial because commercial could potentially generate higher property tax values than a residential lot. We looked specifically at the lots adjacent to the Appian Deli. The owner of the lot between the Appian Deli and the existing multifamily bought that lot designated as commercial and requested that it remain that way. In general, council agreed with that. And then the 4 lots on the opposite side of the Appian Deli, we discussed those as being changed to residential with the understanding from looking at the Montgomery County Appraisal District website that they were already residential. That is not correct. We were reading the data incorrectly on the website. They are actually, nothing is owned commercial in the city, but it's unrestricted.
Unrestricted, okay.
And so the question is, Do we want those to remain unrestricted and keep that area commercial, or do we want to change that to be residential?
My position on that hasn't changed.
And could you reiterate your position on that?
Yes.
Keep residential.
Make it residential.
Make it residential.
The reason why we're doing this whole zoning is to limit the commercial out here, not to add to. And that's it.
Councilman Reasoner and I are going to disagree on this to some extent. That my belief, sharing with Councilman Mullane's, is that there is not a strong appetite for commercial, especially commercial that doesn't add to the character of the city. So we're at a restaurant, we're at a daycare, we're at something that serves a community value, and there was a designation with that property that limited to that use, I can see that going forward. But there's not, in my understanding, even the property that we agreed to keep commercial on the other side between Appian Deli and the multifamily is now being pursued as a gas station, which is probably the second least desirable use for that within the city, in my opinion.
Right.
Right, so that the owner of that has not shown any intent to do what the city actually wants. It's what generates revenue.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's any reason to believe that the other 4 lots would be treated any differently.
Keep that big gas station.
Do we know, so have these lots been in the ownership of a particular person for years? Have they just changed hands recently?
That we would have to check. The one that is in play is between the Appian Deli and the multifamily.
Okay.
So my understanding is the owner of the Appian Deli is in negotiations with the owner of that lot to acquire it.
But council agreed that night to leave that as a unrestricted
Commercial lot. I would still like.
Or the designated.
Yeah, her title actually said commercial, which I don't know where that came from, because the original deed restrictions don't use that word, they use unrestricted. But I would still like to challenge through our zoning that we make that a type 1 commercial rather than a type 2. And we designate those such that a type 2 can only be on the outskirts of the city, say in Galaxy and Roman Forest. Those be gas stations, but there not be any gas stations within the city.
Within the city.
And that we need to consider underground storage tanks that close to the Roman Forest Consolidated 1 and 2 water wells, that if there are fuel trucks going in there, fuel trucks can spill when they connect. So you could say the double hull underground storage tanks are regulated and they're controlled, and that's great, but you're going to have fuel trucks going in there on a regular basis that could spill at any time. And then that's immediately adjacent to the water system that serves the majority of Roman Forest. So, not to mention the addition of semis on Appian Way going in and out of that gas station.
So other than these 4 lots that we're discussing, did council come to, did council come to an agreement on everything else?
In general, everything else would be residential. So everything on Appian would remain as it is, as far as from Magnolia Bend to Roman Forest would remain multifamily. The lot next to the Appian Deli would be commercial, which could be multifamily or commercial. Again, the gas station is an outlier that I would still like to see restricted. I don't think we discussed specifically between like the Dollar General and the apartments over there.
And I am getting to Jerry.
But essentially everything else would be residential within the city. So everything that's where the convent used to be, that is currently unrestricted. We would change those to residential. So if that lot ever sold and was broken up, then it would have to be residential, and everything on Fountain View that is currently unrestricted, those would be changed to single-family residential. So if there's already 1 fourplex there, it would still be within use. We're not asking that it be changed, but if it were ever to be destroyed for any reason or renovated more than 50%, then it would have to go to single-family residential. And so the city as a whole would be single-family residential, except for the reserves at the front entrance next to the bridge.
Yep.
The ones that are already commercial, the Dollar General, the medical, and the fuel station. of the Fuel Max.
Right.
And then the four corners of Roman Forest and Galaxy
Right.
would be commercial, and that would be it.
Jerry,
I did a study of 18 properties, actually, I looked at more than that, but I looked at 18 of them. And in the back.
Could you use your microphone, sir? Got it.
So I did a study of 18, actually I looked at more properties than that, but I only documented 18. And in the very back of your packet is a map of those. I documented the 2025 taxes, or pardon me, not taxes, but the 2025 property value. They had the taxable also. And I went to the appraisal district website to do this. And if you want to see a copy of those, they are on a flash drive that I gave to Scott Castleberry. And there's some interesting things that came up out of that. Out of that 18 properties, they're all, and there's no type 1, type 2 when you look at the documentation from the appraisal district. They're commercial, they're residential, and they have 2 or 3 other designations, and that's all there is in there. When you go look at what the appraised value is, for instance, the medical building this year, they didn't, in 25, they didn't pay any taxes, I don't know why. But from 25 to 26, that jumped almost $1 million. So one of the things that I looked at was when I went down through this, there's one residential. Of all those lots, there's only one residential. All the rest of them are commercial, of those 18. The filling station down at the end on Tram Road is worth over $2 million. And that brings about $87,000 in taxes, if I recall correctly. But as you go through all of those, take a look at the values of the 25, the values of, and in 25 you'll have both taxes, and you'll have what the property value is. 26 you'll have what the property value is proposed to be. And there is no, since 26 tax season is here, there's no taxes on that. As I say, there was only one that was actually a residential, and I did drive by to see what was there. You'll notice some with no addresses, but they still have lot numbers. And I think there were 3 that way. My concern is not necessarily what is, because I think y'all did a great job, and as others. I went back and looked at the videos on that. You know, somebody brought up, you know, the only one that, I think that was Councilman Davis that might have brought that up. Access, if it's a second floor, you want to, you know, we don't want the second floor to be the primary access on a house, and that they're doing something. I think that we're going to be treading on very thin ice by changing the designation versus if we have someplace that's residential, that we change that to commercial, your chances of their taxes going up, according to what I've seen, are exceptionally good. And those people are really going to dislike us if they get a bill that their taxes are jumped $1,000 for no apparent reason. We've already heard a lot of those kinds of stories. I don't have a problem with defining, you know, things like we don't want any 2-story houses. There's certain things we want. My issue is a lot of these, what's it going to do to what they have to pay to the tax lady this next year, and we need to be very conscious about that.
I don't think we have any that we've asked to go from residential to commercial. I think it's strictly from unrestricted to restricted.
Well, and
unrestricted to single family.
Well, in the tax code, there is no unrestricted. It's either commercial or residential or something like that. But I think we're going to need to be very careful of those and make sure that whatever changes we make will not affect their tax rate.
So, Jerry, you think one more good sit-down workshop, we could come up with a plan that we can bring to the citizens?
I think so, and I think we need to notify some of these people that whose lots are going to be directly affected by any changes. I think we need to send them a letter.
We have to by law. So
Okay.
we have to send them notice as well as anybody within 200 feet of them, I believe.
Okay.
And then we have to have a meeting.
We have to have
So
a
many
public
days out.
hearing, which has to be published.
But we all have to be in agreement of what we're presenting. That's what I'm saying. Do you think one more workshop we could get
I
in?
think we can. So
Yeah, yeah, because I don't have a problem with 90% of everything that went on. I think it did it, while I was gone, everybody did a great job. I have some issues with defining some of these properties as commercial, and we, there's certain things that we don't want. I will certainly agree with that. But gosh, I'd love to see a Baskins 31. No, I don't know. I probably weigh 600 pounds. But, and my son works for Blue Bell, so.
Well, then
So we have
I think that's what our intention
we
should
have
be.
a plan for the ordinance that we can draft, whether Scott or I drafts it.
Mhm.
I was gonna have it ready for tonight, and I realized that in the last two zoning workshops, you weren't able to make it. And I didn't even have your input on it, and before I proposed the zoning ordinance, I thought it would be good to have your review of it before we got to the point that we were gonna vote on it.
And since we have a few differences,
There's
let's,
very few
very
differences.
few, let's sit down and talk about it, write it together. If everybody's in agreement, we turn it over to Scott, and we get the game plan on how to get this.
And Councilman Reasoner's point that there is no commercial 1 or commercial 2, that is correct, but we have that right in the zoning ordinance to create those. So we can say this can be commercial, it can be a food service, it can be something that's a benefit, whether it's a daycare or a laundromat or not a laundromat, whatever it is, we can put those designations into a commercial 1, and then we can say that these commercial 2, which is tobacco sales, alcohol sales, gasoline sales, can only be at this location, which would be at Roman Forest and Galaxy.
And as long as we're not violating some Texas law, I certainly don't have a problem with that. It was interesting, and I went through and read a lot of court cases, actually. I spent about 3 or 4 days of things that where a deed restriction said one thing, but the zoning ordinance said something else. And most of the time, if they were in direct conflict with each other, most of the time of the court cases I read, the deed restrictions won. Not all the time, but they won. So whatever we do, we want to make sure that we have complied and done the things we need to do to make, to resolve any of those kind of issues before we get into court.
And remembering the tie when it comes to this, deed restriction versus zoning regulation, tie goes to the more restrictive. And so that is,
Okay. So make it as restrictive as possible.
if you want your zoning regulation to. But then be prepared to potentially have to pay compensation.
Anyway, I'm ready.
I respect everybody's opinion here. Also, I gotta listen to my constituents and y'all as well. We don't want more, we don't want more work on here. I don't care what the revenue brings. I don't care if ExxonMobil comes in here. People don't want that.
Actually,
I have not heard one person tell me they wanted commercial other than potentially a restaurant.
Yeah.
there's,
Unfortunately, we can't be that specific in.
No, we can't.
We can't. I know.
If it's commercial, they can put a strip club on it.
So, but I'm looking forward to sitting down with you guys right there at that table and talking about this and getting this done. So let's set a date for this.
Okay, set one.
We
I
have
know
a
we
lot
got,
of budget meetings.
we got a lot of meetings coming up, but I'm so much ready to get this going. Maybe this is something that we need to wait till we hack through the budget,
Let's do that.
especially the chiefs, and agree on, and then maybe we'll do that afterwards. What's our first budget meeting? August?
It's
No.
the 10th.
August 10th. It's a Monday.
13th.
The
10th is a budget workshop, 11th is not.
10th,
so
12th, 13th, and 17th is the public hearing for adopting the
10th, 12th,
budget.
13th.
So we're looking at setting something after those dates. We need to get through the budget first.
We're on the wrong topic right
And
now.
then 17.
We're trying to set a date.
Sometime in September.
Can you crosswords here?
Well, no, we're trying to set a date for our zoning.
August 20th is a Thursday.
Try to keep you legal.
I know, you're doing a good job. All I'm trying to do is set a date for a zoning workshop, which is within number 16.
That's a lot of meetings, 1 week.
It's a lot of meetings.
Let's do it either the last part of August or early part of September. We're not wanting anything early, September off.
Okay, so under item 16, I'd like to get a date on the books, and I do not like a Monday night, so if anybody can do anything with a Monday or Friday, it'd be wonderful.
September the 8th, we do have a public hearing.
Yeah.
And after that, we're clear.
Tuesday or Wednesday?
It don't matter.
Name, put a date out there.
September 16th. Just shoot off again.
So my only concern with pushing it out that far is if we don't pass a zoning ordinance, I think I did something. If we don't pass a zoning ordinance prior to a sale of property,
All right.
then we may have more repercussions of somebody having the right to challenge that. Whereas if the zoning ordinance is passed and then they purchase it, then they should have known what they were buying was not zoned commercial.
August 19th.
That would be my preference. I know that's a lot of meetings in August, but I would rather have this done sooner than later. And that way we could even have it on the agenda for the 24th.
More than about 30 minutes anyway.
Yeah, August
It should go very
19th,
quick.
5:30 or 6? 5:30. August 19th, 5:30, penciled in, zoning workshop. Any other business to discuss under item 16, council?
No, sir, I don't have anything.
We don't need to vote on the meeting, we don't need to vote for the 16. There was no need to go into closed executive session, so number 17 is null. City council request future agenda items. Go ahead, Scott.
We can talk about the budget workshop, that first one on the 10th. Chief Carlisle will be out of town.
Yep. I need him in the first meeting.
We go for all.
You don't have to figure out, I'll take care of your budget.
Yeah,
for you.
actually, Councilman Morway said you're good. Take as long as you need, he said.
Chico conference. Very important.
Yeah.
Got your best interest at heart.
Yeah, I know. I need the chief in a workshop, budget workshop, and I need him in the first one.
I get the 6th instead of the 10th.
Chief, I'm sorry, but you're the only one that can explain your math to me, so I need you there.
Then that's a push.
Yeah.
Thursday the 6th.
Yes. It's 1, 2, 3 days, 4 days. 4 days. Reschedule the first.
Yeah, I got nothing going on. So, do we want to push the 10th back to the 6th? Is that what we're saying here?
I'll do that.
No, I'm just, would that work for everybody?
Pushing it forward?
No, change the 10th back to the 6th. Start the budget workshops on the 6th.
Later, I'm gonna be out of town the first 2 weeks of August.
Okay. So you were gonna miss
You're
all
gonna miss
those?
them anyway.
You're gonna miss them anyway. So we could move the 10th back to the 6th.
Well, I think, thinking out loud for chief here, but if we took the 13th and pushed it to the 6th and leave the 10th,
Okay.
then if there needs to be a need for chief to be at that one, then
3-hour drive for me. I can leave at lunch or something.
Okay, so just pull the 13th, put it on the 6th, so the 6th, 10th, and 11th.
now 6,
6,
10,
10,
and 12.
12, sorry.
I don't know why did we skip the 11th?
I don't have no clue. I would skip the 10th. Mondays are tough enough.
We could put it on the 11th.
Whose mic is on? Oh. Okay,
Would you like to do that?
Yes.
To make it the 6th, the 10th, and the 11th?
yes, unfortunately, Councilman Sanders was not gonna be at the other week
You said
anyway.
you'd prefer not the 10th.
No,
So the,
I would do
so the
6,
6th, 11th, and 12th.
6, 11, and 12,
6, 11, and 12. Okay.
5:30.
What about the 13th? We got the way out.
It moved to the
It
6th.
moved to the 6th.
So now we're saying 6th, 11th, and 12th. Is that what
Somebody's microphone's still
I
on.
think Jerry's maybe on.
Somebody's got to write this down tomorrow.
So the 6th at 5:30 is a workshop?
Microphone's are
The 11th is 5:30 as a workshop.
Wait, say it again, the 6th is a...
The 6th is a workshop, so we'll have 3 budget workshops, the 6th, the 11th, and the 12th, all starting at 5:30.
Yes.
And the rest of them?
And then we have a special meeting on the 17th for the tax rate,
Yes.
a
Which is a hard
zoning
hard date.
workshop on the 19th, and a regular council meeting on the 24th.
That is correct.
All right. Chief, you can make
That
the
is a
six.
busy month. Okay.
There you go.
So y'all-
Trying to earn our $0 salaries.
Yeah, that's right.
So why don't we keep the changes we want to make to the, do that workshop, you said on the 13th? Or the 19th?
It's on the 19th for the zoning workshop.
Yeah.
So y'all just incorporate the changes to that workshop?
Mhm.
Instead of scheduling 2 more? Was that on the?
No.
No, the other are budgets. There's only one zoning workshop.
There's only one zoning.
I know, but we're just gonna talk about the zoning after another workshop. Is it gonna be that one?
It's gonna be a zoning all on its own.
So the 6th, 11th, and 12th are budget.
Okay.
The 17th is the tax rate. The 19th is zoning. All of those meetings are at 5:30.
I won't be here the 17th.
Other than the budget workshop, what was the other things?
The 17th is the special tax rate meeting,
Okay.
and the 19th is the zoning workshop.
17th is proposed.
Right, that's where we have to decide no new taxes, no new revenue, or
And
vote
proposed.
allowed.
I won't be here on the 17th.
Yeah.
To keep your seat, that's a good one to miss.
That's not. All right, any
You can
other?
say, I didn't say that. I didn't vote for that.
Any other council requests? We're not gonna worry about so much agenda items. Any other requests?
We could move that tax rate hearing up to the 13th, so we don't have a Monday meeting, which is what you were asking for. 17th is just the last day we have to have it. What'd you say?
Y'all got to get calendars.
Yeah.
Dates are out.
Hey,
I think he can
come
send an
look at
email
my-
out with all the dates once we get them finalized.
Mullane is calendar challenged, so you're really gonna mess him up.
They're on around dates, switch them around. So you want to move the 17th to the 13th?
Well, he just-
6, 11, 12, 13, get them over with.
And then Ricky's here.
That's
And then Ricky, we need regular,
Trying to keep my seat.
we need Councilman Warwick here for the tax rate. Let's move the tax rate to the 13th. It's not on the 17th anymore. Proposed tax rate on the 13th.
One more, all right.
And I'll take care of your budget, Carl, I don't worry about it.
All right.
You can
Councilman,
just deputize him for one night, he'll take care of your budget.
all right, Councilman, any other business?
You got it? So the 13th, so it's...
Oh, you'll get it.
Anything else from this side before we close? Anything over here?
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
my finger's not fast enough to keep up with the date. Maybe it's because I'm getting old.
Sure.
All right.
I'm gonna send them out.
He's gonna send them.
And tell you what it is.
Good, thank you.
I'll take care of you tonight.
It would take a lot of eraser to keep up with that.
All right. Let's get out of here, guys. Who makes a motion?
I'll make a motion to adjourn for the evening.
Motion, Councilman Lane, adjourn for the evening. Second, Councilman Warwick, all in favor of adjournment.
You're here.
This meeting is unanimous. This meeting is adjourned at 7:50. Thank you.